Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to look at Maker's 46. Now, I have already reviewed the standard Maker's Mark wheated bourbon, and this is as well. Let's see, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, barrel finished with 10 French oak staves, stave profile number 46. If you're not familiar with the story, they did a whole bunch of different barreling options with the actual staves in the barrel being different varieties of woods and different char levels and stuff. And they settled on stave profile number 46 as being the profile that they wanted to bottle. That's how they came up with this. 94 proof or 47% ABV. Now, the original Maker's Mark, it was okay. I got this nice, I don't know if you can even see it in the video, got this nice Maker's Mark poster from my hunting partner. It's a picture of a guy hand dipping the bottle in wax. I also have a Wisconsin outline, I think it's a cutting board actually, outline of a Maker's Mark whiskey bottle on the wall over there. My hunting partner is really big into it. It's a good alternative to Weller if you're looking for it, as it is a reasonable wheated bourbon. I did have a bad experience with 46. Wife and I went out to eat at a really nice fancy restaurant here in town. Saw that they had 46, never had tried it before. This was only a couple of months ago. The bottle was down to about here, and ordered one up. You know, it's not a cheap pour, it's like a $10 pour. Drank it, and it was just not quite right. And I'm wondering if some saponification was occurring in the bottle with how low the bottle was. If it hadn't been, if it had been sitting at that level for quite some time, some weird things can happen in the bottle where you get a weird interaction, oxidation of the whiskey essentially with the airspace that is going on in there. The interaction there kind of changes the flavor profile. So it was not that great. And so when I saw this bottle, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a second go, because it seems like all the whiskey reviewers keep raving about this. Now you can see I've tapped into this bottle already. When I tried it before, I was not super impressed with it. I know the Whiskey Tribe guys just did a review of like the whole neck pour concept, trying to say that it really maybe isn't such a thing. I tend to disagree. I think it does change quite drastically once you get that initial pour or two out of it. And maybe it's a mental thing, maybe it's a situational thing, like you just have it one time and it's blah, and then you go back another time and, you know, your palate's different, what you ate's different, the time of day is different, whatever the reason. But it wasn't doing it for me. Anyway, so I got this bottle, and my initial try out of the bottle, I was not impressed with it as well, counter to what so many other people have said about it. So hopefully that was just a neck pour issue or something else, and maybe today on camera it'll be amazing. But thus far, Maker's Mark has kind of let me down, for as much as I know my hunting partner's a big fan of it. A lot of other people are big fans of it. It just doesn't seem to be doing it for me as a thing. In fact, I had Maker's 101. I had cast strength on my bourbon hit list, what I'm looking for. So the 101, the cast strength. There's another one in there that I can't think of what it was. Maybe a single barrel? Did they do a single barrel maybe? Anyways, I had a couple different Maker's Marks on my hit list, and I just crossed them off, because I'm not going to go spend $60 on a bottle when I'm not a fan of the $30 and $40 bottles. So to all you Maker's Marks fans out there, I am sorry, but underwhelmed at this point. Who knows? Maybe today will be the turning point. Pick this up locally, $39.99, so $40 bottle here in town. So we'll see what we get out of it. I mean, it is a great marketing ploy. I mean, The wax on there is awesome, and then, you know, their old classic tagline, taste expensive because it is. You know, there's something to that as well. You know, and that, if you're not aware of that, that comes from the 80s when everybody was going to American whiskeys and clear spirits. They refused to do it, and they stuck with, you know, making bourbon whiskey. And not only did they stick with that, but they're like, hey, screw you guys. We're going to make an expensive bourbon whiskey just to kind of kick you in the throat a little bit anyways. So with that, all of that rambling aside, here we go. And mind you, this is bottle number 6 in my review here, so might be getting on into it a little bit. And I'm coming off the heels of two ryes, the Old Forester and the Woodford Reserve, so that might also change and impact what I'm getting out of this bottle. But we'll see what we get here. That was really weird. Straight out of the glass, right then I got like fresh cut lilac flowers. That was really weird. I was not expecting that. And it is sticking with me. That's kind of odd. I don't know where that's coming from, because I know for a fact that that was not coming out of this before. And I can't get around it right now. I'm going to have to try a sip and see if it's like honey and lilac. Slowly starting to pick out a little something else. There we go. That just went to like a caramel and a like a cherry candy. No, not like a candy. Like a cherry. What do they call those things? Like, it's like a chocolate covered cherry where you bite into it and there's like a maraschino cherry in there, and then it's also got some of that cherry, like it's not a jam. It's like a cherry syrup inside the candy with a cherry. It's almost that kind of a cherry. So it's a very sweet candied cherry, but not a fake cherry. And now that's starting to take over the glass. That's more what I was expecting, other than that lilac. That was an interesting note. Anyways, so here we go on the palate. A little bit astringent forward and bitter. Moves into a light, like generic sugary sweetness in the middle, and then a caramel. It's finishing strong with caramel and oak tannin. I'm guessing that French oak is bringing that bitter tannin into it. There are a couple of parts that were watery thin. The whole flavor profile was kind of thin and light on flavor and very dry. It dried out my mouth quite a bit. Again, I'm going to attribute most of that to that French oak, both creating that dry feeling and bringing that astringency. Second sip, I get that fruit cherry forward and just a very bitter, astringent mid palate to it. Very bitter impact. I guess that's what I don't like about this particular whiskey right now, and that's what I didn't like the first time that not the restaurant time. There was just something bad with that whiskey all the way around. But the first time I tried this bottle, that's what I was getting. Also, was this very astringent, barrel heavy impact bitterness that I'm guessing comes from that French oak stave, and I'm just not a fan of that. Like, it's kind of slapping me around a little bit. And then coupling that flavor and mouthfeel with the mouthfeel of just drying out, like a dry wine kind of dries out your tongue kind of a thing. I just don't like it. I think, maybe if I had some water or ice or something like that, this would probably go well with something like that, or if I made a mixed drink or something. But as a standalone neat pour, I'm out on this. And so because of that, I'm kind of out on Makers. They're 0-2 right now in my book, and there's just so many other things. I'm well over 100 whiskeys at this point. There's so many other things behind this bar right now that I would grab over this that I personally am out. But it's a well put together whiskey. As much as I've crapped on the flavor profile, it's just not my flavor profile. But it's thin. It's kind of watery thin on flavor profile. It moves very, very quick. 3 seconds before you push into that finish. Finish only stays with you for another 2 seconds maybe. And that maybe also adds to it. For $40, for $30, there's so much other stuff I could buy that I actually really enjoy. So for $40, I'm exceptionally out. I might have to give this bottle to my hunting partner, see what he thinks about it. But there's that lilac again. Third and final try. Let's see if we get anything out. Okay, that time it changed. A lot less bitter until right now. Now the bitters, it's like bitter and ethanol and dryness hitting all at the same time, moving into that finish. But the beginning part of that one was more sweet, kind of like a honey, maybe a little caramel. I don't know. It was very, it was a little bit sweet, but it pushed past it very quickly. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that one. I would have to experiment and try with this a bit more. It's just not my cup of tea. Anyways, $39.99 here locally. Let me know down in the comments down below what I'm missing, what I don't get about it. Why is this such a great bottle that everybody keeps raving about and all the other whiskey review channels seem to really like it? I'm not a fan. Let me know what you can find it for in your area. And if you really like this, tell me how stupid I am, because I don't know. But if you would, go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know if this at least is good content anyways. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Check me out on my other channels. Life and Whiskey at bitchute.com and life_and_whiskey on minds.com. Same videos there, but there'll also be a little bit extra content, some political stuff, some non-whiskey stuff, some other whiskey stuff on those channels that will not be on YouTube just because I don't feel like dealing with the YouTube terms of service policy because they suck. So anyways, there you have it. I'll stop rambling. Thanks for watching. As always, have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.